Common mistakes when imitating Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is a really famous boxer with knockout punch power, great world champion. So I know a lot of young boxers want to be like him, but they make mistakes when they're imitating his style. So first, we're going to start off with the feet. Mike Tyson always moves in steps. Steps. He takes steps. He never brings his legs together. He never crosses his legs. Mike Tyson demonstrates how he moves in steps. Mike Tyson's style is about producing power. He wants to always be able to produce power. You can only produce power if your legs are at the correct distance. So Mike Tyson, firstly, never brings his feet together, never crosses, he never just dances, brings his feet together. It's always steps. So to be like Mike Tyson, you have to make sure you're always in steps. Mike Tyson boxes in the peekaboo style, in the peekaboo stance, which is a very offensive stance. So because of this, Mike Tyson doesn't stand side on. Instead, he stands square. He's square, able to exert himself forward. He stands square, slightly bends his knees, which lowers the height he is from his opponents with his guard up. From here, he can easily slip shots thrown by his opponents. Mike Tyson usually performs a traditional boxing slip. Now, imagine I'm standing here, tilting to either side. This is exactly what Mike Tyson does, but in his boxing stance. So he gets in his stance and he tilts. And that's how he was able to dodge multiple attacks. Mike Tyson laterally slides from side to side to slip every single punch. People confuse that with a rotational slip, which is where Mike Tyson is going to counter. He gets into his guards, transfers the weight onto the lead leg through his hips. I've slipped a shot, the weight's here for me to throw my left hook. People confuse the two. Mike Tyson does use both, but at different times. Rotational slip. Now when Mike Tyson rolls, he rolls through his legs, not through his back. What that does is it allows him to be upright and see his opponent. You see that? I'm upright and I'm looking at my opponent. He doesn't drop his hands are up. I know a lot of beginners sometimes drop the hands. No, you keep your hands up and you look at your opponent. You never look down towards the ground. Sometimes when you roll through your back, this is how it can look. You see that? That's not what he's doing. He's dropping down like this. Here you see Mike Tyson's roll comes from the legs. He dips low and transfers the weight, with his eyes always on his opponent. Always. Now lastly, some tips and punches. Mike Tyson always punches from the hips. So a lot of beginners might be trying to mimic Mike Tyson's power shots and they're just throwing with the arms, whether it's an uppercut or whether it's straight shots or hooks. That's incorrect. His hands are always tight behind his chin and he rotates through the hips. When Mike Tyson's going to throw a hook, he doesn't bring his hand away from his head, increase the leverage so he'll have more power. Instead, he'll keep his hands there and then might coil back so he has more leverage and then fire his shot. It's the same thing for the uppercut. If he wants more leverage, he'll just twist down in the opposite direction in which he's going to attack. Drive him through the hips. There's some tips for you to be a better boxer when you're imitating Mike Tyson's style.